What has consistently been getting shittier? Advertisements. Not only the quality of advertisements, but frequency has skyrocketed. For example, when you watch a basketball game, these motherfuckers put an ad in between free throw attempts. Everything is presented by company XYZ, everything has some sort of advertisement connected to it, and it is infuriating. I was listening to sports talk radio. I don't remember the advertiser, but the phone call connection was sponsored. The fucking phone call connection. I turned it off. The quality of furniture. Unless you want to spend $10,000, you can't really get something that will last 50 plus years. Housing costs. It's ridiculous. Our rent keeps going up, so my husband just said screw it, let's move in with my dad for a year or so to save. Thankfully he was cool with it, because we seriously never have any extra to save. I don't know how people without help can do it. Rent is so expensive it's impossible to save the money needed to buy a house. Streaming services. This is my gripe right here. I recently lost access to some of my favorite content when Paramount created their streaming service. Do they think we're each going to open dozens of individual paid accounts? Ads are getting ridiculous too. On Hulu if I watch an ad, but then rewind past the ad break. Forced to watch it again. The irony is that streaming was an ideal break away from cable, but if I'm stuck with the same amount of ads, I might as well pay one company for access to multiple networks, especially as cable-on-demand services keep improving. Streaming is moving quickly towards being cable again. I'm old enough to have watched this exact same thing happen to satellite TV. Satellite used to be the breakaway from cable. One subscription fee and we got everything, premium channels, pay-per-view, all of it. By the time I cut the cord over a decade ago, satellite TV was identical to cable. And that's what streaming is becoming. It's happening at a slower pace, but it's still happening. Piracy is inevitable, because these companies never learn. We pay them for convenience, we don't actually need them. YouTube. 2 unskippable ads with every freaking video. And more throughout. I'm honestly surprised if there's only 2. Public origin for PC'/laptops, YouTube Vanced for mobiles my friend. Someone told me Vanced is discontinued, unfortunately. New Pipe works just as well. Skips ads, intros, outros, promo sections, like and subscribe sections and allows you to play video with your screen off, nice for long-form podcasts or interviews, music, etc. Trash and litter along roadways. In our area, trash accumulates faster than cleanup crews can deal with it. As a fairly young teacher I'm astounded by how bad the kids I'm teaching are about rubbish. Like he'll ask them to use a bin and they'll act offended or pretend I literally didn't just see them drop something on the floor. IDK what's different, but there's only about 6 years between me and the kids I teach, but en masse they seem way worse about litter than anyone I've known my age. Life and perception. As I get older and learn more I consistently yearn for the old days, but I'm not actually yearning for old days. I'm merely wishing I could go back to when I didn't know anything about how life and the world actually operates. Youthful perception is usually more optimistic. Ignorance is bliss. Bro, I had this same revelation a few weeks ago. I'm 32 and have found myself yearning for the old days as well. Life seemed so easy back when I was a kid. But then it hit me. It's no wonder life was easy back then. I didn't have a job except for school. I didn't have to worry about how I was going to eat and making sure there was a roof over my head. I got to just hang with friends and do whatever I wanted for the most part. My whole life was ahead of me and the possibilities were endless. I give my parents all the credit for giving me a good childhood. I was very fortunate. Life doesn't necessarily feel that way anymore when you're now responsible for keeping yourself alive and realizing how short life is. Quality of everyday items, they were more durable in the past, now they make them not to last so you'll buy it again. The internet. I remember when it started. Bulletin boards were the shit. Inspired, interested people from around the world talking. And then websites. Any fool could throw up some HTML and have a little website talking about their cat and their favorite video games. Java chat rooms. Flash games. Game forums. 4chan. It was the Wild West. You could post anything, anonymously, view anything, freely. It's all gone now. And it's getting worse and worse. It was a way to express yourself and connect with other human beings around the world. Now it's all sales, sales, sales. Bots for making sales, services for making sales, ways to sell yourself. I can't imagine making the kind of lifelong online friends I have if I started today. The quality of politicians in the United States, and most of the rest of the world. The majority are power-hungry, money-hungry people who shouldn't be representing the people of their country, state in the first place. The few good ones are powerless to do anything against the crooked majority. Availability of quality clothing. For example, in my city of just over 30,000 in the US there are exactly 0 places to buy quality clothing that is not intended for ag purposes. Not a single shoe store with handmade shoes. Instead of looking through a store at quality items and knowing to avoid a certain brand, the entire store can be written off with a quick glance. There is a boot store with quality work boots, one brand, the rest are lower quality glue construction with fake Goodyear welts and synthetic leather uppers. Good clothes and shoes worth purchasing and owning are a specialty item in huge swaths of the country. I do all my clothes shopping at the thrift store now due to this, and the fact that I'm broke as fuck. Older clothes are just better quality, stay comfortable longer, and last longer. My favorite shirt is 10+ years old. I got it when I was a teenager as a hand-me-down from my older sister. It's still great quality after wearing and washing it weekly. The brand doesn't exist anymore. I saw one in a thrift store last week for $2 still looking brand new. It was the highlight of the trip. Drivers. Why the fuck don't you people use your turn signals? No turn signals. Speeding 20+ everywhere. Constantly switching lanes and engaging in generally reckless behavior. All to go absolutely nowhere and end up at the stoplight with me. I've been driving 20+ years now and there is a significant difference from then to now. Employers or jobs, it's like when you think bosses or management couldn't get any stupider than you read another story on Reddit. Disney World. They keep increasing the prices on everything, adding additional charges while cutting back on experiences. The guests are coming in with shittier, more entitled attitudes because they've paid so much. You can't just go to any park on any day during your visit, you need to make a park reservation for each park you want to visit before you go, an extra hoop to jump through on your vacation. Wasn't this supposed to be relaxing? The free complimentary Fast Pass system has now become paywalled into the Genie Plus system, which is extra coolish because Robin Williams never wanted the Genie to be used for marketing purposes. You can now use the Lightning Lane to get on rides faster. For a price. And without that Lightning Lane access, you'll have to wait hours in line, meaning you get on less rides during your visit. The whole experience just sucks now. It used to be fun and relaxing. Now it's just anxiety-inducing. And then you have to make reservations just to go to a food court-type restaurant and account for every second of the day. No wonder why Universal is making bank. Chapek would find a way to charge the customers for air if he could. And some experiences that are supposed to be back still ain't back yet. Video games. I don't want to play online against everyone who is better than me. I want a good story, challenging but beatable bosses and quests, missions. I also don't want to have to fucking update the game and console every 6 hours. PS2 was peak platform gaming, it went downhill from there. I suggest looking into indie games, there are so many amazing indie games out there. I've started to completely avoid AAA developers since all they do is release a broken mess of a game and release the fixes and actual fun elements as paid DLC while shoving battle passes and microtransactions down your throat. I highly recommend Hollow Knight as a starter. Or if you're into a more relaxed type of gamer, try Stardew Valley. This is a product of the modern world and applies to more than just games. I think music is another example. People always say music used to be better. No, it didn't. There is more good music now than there ever was, but you need to know where to find it. You can find 20 bands right now online making shit that sounds just like Black Sabbath or Hendrix or whatever you want to hear. It's just hard to find because there is so much and no one's talking about it. Same thing with all these tiny companies or even individual people putting out cool little indie games. Parents. They don't put the time or effort into their kids and then get angry at any who dissent their parenting. Not all parents are bad, just a lot of newer ones who think giving their kid an iPad is parenting. I hate that. They don't have time to put into their kids. Both work, can't afford luxury or classes, Or trips. Kids spend more time at daycare now. Most parents don't even cook, they're so exhausted. Why do you think people in the US just stopped having kids? It's not worth it anymore. Well, after scrolling through all these comments I'm just gonna say everything has gone to shit.